Then go for another one. This is also very important question. Now there is a concave mirror. There is a concave mirror, and from this concave mirror, a small angled prism is kept at somewhere. Its apex angle is 4 degree. 4 degree. And its refractive index is given. Mu is equal to 1.5. Refractive index of the prism. Mu. Okay? Right. And this prism is, small angled prism is keeping at a distance of 20 centimeters from the concave mirror. And an object is keeping another side of the prism at a distance of 5 centimeters. Shown in the diagram clearly. Focal length of the concave mirror is 30 centimeters. Okay? Now, the question is, find the final coordinates of the image formed. Whose image? This object is keeping at this location. This is the object. Its corresponding image formed by the concave mirror, and that image coordinates are asked. So this is y-axis, this is x-axis clearly mentioned. Then what are the coordinates of the image of this object formed by concave mirror after refraction through the small angled prism and reflection by the concave mirror together will give the final image. That final image coordinates are asking. Okay, before going to this point, then I would like to explain one more point. So in case of prism, which gives the refraction, of course, so due to refraction of this prism, which forms a virtual image of a given object. For example, this is small angled prism. This is small angled prism. An object is keeping somewhere here. The light is incident on it, undergoes refraction, and one more ray is incident on this prism, which is also undergoes refraction. These two refracted rays are extended. So these two refracted rays are extended. So they meet each other exactly on vertical line as that of the object is also keeping on the same line. So that will be forming a vertical line, so which is on the same line as that of the object. Now in this case, why it is giving the vertically shifting its image? Why don't it shift forward or backward when the refraction takes place? So in this case, here the prism is apex angle is very small at 4 degree. In such case, so no question of shifting of this image forward or backward. It is only giving vertical shift. Suppose if the prism is of considerable amount of angle of prism, that is 30 or 60 degrees something else, in such case, due to refraction, it is giving the image as well as in vertical shift and also horizontal shift both. But in this case, it is small angled prism, so apex angle is 4 degree. Therefore, it is giving vertical shift of the image. But this image is by extension of this refracted rays, it is giving the image. This is virtual image. Therefore, the prism is forming virtual image when the light is refracted through it. Now in this case, same we consider this one. So here, what is happening? The light is incident on it, undergoes refraction, and one more ray is incident here and undergoes refraction. Then these two are extended back. It gives its image. This is image and this is object. Okay, this is a height of the image formed. This is 5. Let it be height of the object. Let it be object here, or otherwise we consider this is a D, as you wish. Okay. Now here let us find this deviations of say it is a deviation delta, or otherwise we can take this is also deviation, as you wish. So from any of them, so here the light is incidenting, here undergoes refraction, this is a deviation. Therefore, from this deviation, its dimension, its length is given 5 centimeters. It is 5 centimeters. Okay. Now from this triangle, suppose this is a point P from triangle PIO triangle, and tan delta is equal to opposite side D. This is given, mentioned already, D by, this is adjacent to 5. Okay. Now delta is very small. If it is very small, then we can take it as tan delta is nearly delta. Therefore, we use this delta equal to D by 5. Delta equal to D by 5. Now, D is equal to how much? 5 into delta. So, we can find delta value. Delta is the deviation suffered by the light whenever refraction takes place through this given small angled prism. So, let us go for it. So, what is the deviation suffered? Delta is equal to mu minus 1 into A. So, delta is equal to mu is how much? 1.5 given, minus 1. So, here A is given how much? A is, I think it is given apex angle 2 degree. I think it is 2 degree. Therefore, it is 2. Now, delta deviation equal to 1 degree. So, this is in degrees, but here it is in degree, it is in centimeters. We should convert this deviation, that in degree, into radians. If it convert into radians, we know that pi radians equal to 180 degree. Then 1 degree will be equal to how much? How many radians? So pi by 180 radians. Okay. So 1 degree equal to pi by 180 radians. Therefore, finally, delta value is obtained, that pi by 180 radians. Now go for small d value. The small d is equal to here 5 into delta, 5 into pi by 180 degree. So which is giving pi by 36d, which is in centimeters, because centimeters given. This is a height. Okay. After finding this one, again see, object is keeping at which distance? 20 plus 5, 25 centimeters from the concave mirror. And it's very clear, this image, its corresponding image is not forming forward or backward, or not shifting forward or backward. It is only shifting vertically. Therefore, the distance of this image will be at the same distance, that is 20 plus 5, 25 centimeters. Means here, this image serves as an object to this concave mirror, then its corresponding image giving. So at which location, let us find it. So it is focal length 30 centimeters. Object is keeping, see, this is total taken as an object from here to here extended. This is the height of the object, simply height of the object, we can take height of the object. So actually point sized object is keeping here, and its image is formed at certain height, and as a whole we imagine that this is the height of the object as a whole. This serves as an object to this concave mirror. Okay. Now in this case, this is object height D, already calculated it. Now focal length 30 centimeters, object distance 25, means it is keeping in between focus point and the pole. Means object distance is less than the focal length. Less than the focal length. What does it mean? It is within the focus, therefore definitely it is giving virtual image. Let us find it, virtual image. So here focal length f is equal to how much? minus 30 with sign convention, and u is how much? 20 plus 5, 25, but it is real, therefore real, it serves as a real object, therefore minus 25 centimeters, minus 25 centimeters. Then let us find v value. So v is equal to u f by u minus f. Therefore v is equal to u minus 25 into minus 30 by minus 25 minus or minus plus 30, which gives, so how much? So 25 750 by, here it is, the remaining is 5, 150 centimeters. So its corresponding image is formed at a distance of 150 centimeters. See here 150 centimeters, say, but here the object has its own size, that is h naught, and corresponding image will also having the size. That size can be found by using one more formula. That formula is magnification is equal to minus v by u. Magnification equal to minus v by u. Here hi by h naught equal to minus v is given plus 150 by u is minus 25. Minus 25. So you will get it, hi is equal to how much? So 25, 6 job. 6 into h naught. This becomes positive. Hi is equal to 6 into h naught already calculated, which is nothing but a d. H naught equal to d. Therefore d value pi by 36. Pi by 36. Therefore hi is equal to pi by 5 centimeters. And finally it is forming like this. Here its corresponding image is there. Now this is a 150 and this is origin. Coordinates, let us create the coordinates x comma y over here. X coordinates, this is origin. This is origin. From here to here 25 and this is 150. This is 175 centimeter, comma, y is nothing but hi. Y is nothing but hi. Hi is nothing but y. Therefore, this is pi by 5 centimeters. So these are the coordinates of final image form. 175 centimeters, comma, pi by 5 centimeters. So it is very, very important and very, very excellent question. So go through it and once again see that. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Now let us go for one more example, 12th one. Here there is a equilateral prism of prism angle 60 degree. See here 60, 60, 60, which is keeping on horizontal surface, and the surface acts as a plane mirror. It is extended. It is extended to large distance. Okay. Now the light is refracted through this prism symmetrically. Here 20 degree given clearly, and it incident on the prism and refracts symmetrically, and again the emergent ray will incident on the plane mirror, which is kept beyond this prism and undergoes reflection. Then question is, what is the total deviation suffered by the light in this process? Means here the refractive index of the prism material is given, that is 1.54, and sine 50 degree is equal to 0.77. So this data is mentioned in the problem. Once again, there is a prism, equilateral prism, whose refractive index 1.54 is kept on horizontal surface. A ray is refracting through it symmetrically, and emergent ray is incident on plane mirror, which is kept on the ground at a distance, at certain distance beyond this prism, and again undergoes reflection. Then find the total deviation suffered by the light in this process. Means here the refraction takes place here first surface A, B, C, and at second refracting surface again refraction takes place, and 2 refractions and 1 reflection. So let us find one by one. Here this is actually incident ray, and this is bending this much. This is the deviation suffered. We can find it, deviation suffered how much. See, very simple. Here 20 given, angle of incidence is not mentioned over here, but we can find that angle of incidence. This is 20 degree and this is 120 degree, because total 180, 60 removed off and 120, 120, 20, 140, and remaining will be 140 degree here, and this is 50 degree angle of incidence. I1 is equal. So this is R1. See here, angle of refraction R1. So using Snell's law, so mu is equal to sine I1 by sine R1. So mu is given 1.54 is equal to sine I1 is 50 degree by sine R1. Sine R1 is equal to, see, sine 50 degree already given in the data, that is 0.77, and take this value this side 1.54. So sine R1 is equal to how much? 1 by 2. R1 equal to 30 degree. R1 equal to 30 degree, right? So this is R1 30 degree. Total this is 50 and this is 50, and deviation suffered in this case by the refraction is delta 1 is the deviation. In which direction? This is in clockwise. So instead of moving in this direction, it is deviated clockwise. Therefore, it is in clockwise direction. How much? So that is R1, sorry, I1 minus R1 delta 1 is equal to I1 50 minus R1 is 30, which gives 20 degrees deviation in clockwise direction by the refraction at first plane. Again it is symmetrically refracted, therefore here also deviation suffered same amount, because it is mentioned that refraction taking place in this prism, that is symmetrically. Therefore if it is symmetric, here whatever the deviation suffered, here also same amount of deviation suffered by the light. Now here a normal is drawn. See here, this angle both are equal. So this is 20 degree, this is 20 degree. Here in this case reflection. So here glancing angle taken to be 20 degree. Now here at second phase, what is the deviation suffered? Delta 2, which is also in clockwise. See here, it is deviated clockwise 20 degree. Again it is deviated clockwise one more time 20 degree. Again it is incident and reverse anti-clockwise. 2 are clockwise. This is also 20 degree clockwise. Okay. Now delta 3 is equal to 2g glancing angle in terms of glancing angle. That is 2 into g. G is how much? Glancing angle 20 degree, which is giving 40 degree. Which is 40 degree. Then what is the total deviation suffered by this light? So the deviation suffered by this light is as a whole how much? So total deviation equal to delta 1 plus delta 2 minus delta 3, which is giving how much? This is 20 plus 20. Here deviation suffered by the refraction one time, and this is by refraction by second time at second phase, and this is by reflection minus 40, which is giving 0. So 0 is the total deviation suffered by the light. There is no deviation at all. See, we can imagine that this is extended like this. This is also almost, it is extended in this direction. Therefore, these two are parallel to each other. Therefore, no question of final deviation taken by this light after 2 refractions and by 1 reflection. What is the total deviation suffered by the light? 0. Right? It's over. Now go for one more example, that is 13th. So consider an isosceles triangular prism of angle 120 degree and has a refractive index root 2. A parallel beam of light is incident on it, undergoes refraction, and finally they are emerging. So question is, what will be the angle between emerging light rays after refraction through this prism? Okay, so this is the question once again. So there is a prism, isosceles prism of angle 120 degree and refractive index is given root 2 and a parallel beam of light is incident there, and after refraction they will be emerge. After refraction, what will be the angle between emerging light rays? This is question, right? Let us go for method, right? So here the parallel beam is incidenting, that is this is plane surface, normal incidence. This is normal incidence. Let us see here, because it is not a clear, so we can understand easily by this diagram, big one. Right here this is 30 degree, normal incidence, this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree, right? So this is 90 degree, this is 30, remaining this is 60 degree. So normal is drawn, this is 60, remaining this is 30 degree. Okay? Now, whenever it is incident at this surface, undergoes refraction, it is bending away from the normal. This is the normal, and from this normal it is bending away because the ray is traveling from denser into rarer medium. When ray is traveling from denser into rarer medium, it is bending away from normal, therefore it is bending away from normal, and this is taken to be angle of refraction. This is R. R1 say, this is I1, and we have refractive index that is given root 2. Therefore using Snell's law, root 2, using Snell's law, root 2 and sine of the angle 30 degree, which is equal to outside refractive index 1 air medium 1 into sine R1. Yes, root 2 into 1 by 2, which is sine R1. Sine R1 is equal to 1 by root 2, which gives us R1 equal to 45 degree. So angle of refraction is 45 degree. So what is the deviation suffered? Actually the light is traveling along this path, horizontal path. Okay. Now instead of this horizontal path, so suddenly it is deviated whenever refraction takes place. Therefore here, this is the deviation suffered, let it be alpha. Now deviation can be found in this case, R is 45, I is how much? 30. Here in this case R1 is greater than I1. So deviation suffered is how much? R1 minus I1. Therefore R1 is 45 degree, I1 is 30 degree. Therefore 45 minus 30, which gives 15 degree alpha. So after finding this, so we can go for what is the angle between emerging rays. These are the emerging rays after refraction. So this angle which we are going to find, theta. So how we can find that? Again go through a line which is drawn at this point, at the intersection of emerging rays, parallel line. This deviation angle alpha, this is alpha, this is also alpha, because it is symmetric line. It is symmetry. It is angular bisector. Therefore angles are equal, alpha and alpha. So this is alpha, alternate angles. These two are parallel lines. This line parallel lines. This is transverse line. So these two are alternate angles. This is alpha. This is also alpha. Now what is this angle? 2 alpha. 2 alpha is equal to theta. Therefore theta is equal to 2 alpha. Theta equal to 2. Alpha is how much? Alpha is calculated as 15 degree. Therefore substitute this 15 degree, then theta is equal to 30 degree. This is your answer. Yeah. Let us go for next example problem, 14th one. So here there is a prism. So prism, this angle is 60 given, this is 30 given, it is a right angle. Now above this prism, above the face AC, there is some liquid is poured and liquid is placed. Now, a ray of light is incidenting in this way, normal to this face, and at the interface of liquid and the glass, where the light is grazing the surface separating two media, liquid and the glass together. Then, if you are getting in such a way that the result which is grazing the boundary separating two media, so what should be the limit of this refractive index of the liquid? So once again I repeat, so refractive index of the glass is given. So in order to get the grazing of the boundary of two media, liquid and the glass together, so what should be the limit of this refractive index of the liquid? Okay, that is the question. Means for what value of refractive index of liquid, the light here instead of refraction it is grazing the surface separating two media. Okay, now let us go for it. Sin C is equal to, here it is grazing the surface. Sin C is equal to 1 by mu glass with respect to liquid. This is sin C is equal to mu glass by mu liquid by simplifying this, right? Sin C is equal to mu liquid by 3 by 2, right? So here one more point, mu glass is already clearly given. Then in order to get the grazing and TIR takes place over here, so which is not entering into other medium, for which here angle of incidence should be greater than the critical angle. Angle of incidence should be greater than the critical angle. So sin I is greater than sin C. Okay. So sin I is angle of incidence. We can easily find that I greater than sin C. Sin C already calculated over here. Mu liquid by 3 by 2. So here sin I can be find here 60, this is 90, this is 30 degree. Then I value becomes 60 degree. Here this is angle of incidence. I is equal to 60 degree. Therefore sin 60 greater than, so mu liquid by 3 by 2 or otherwise 2 by 3. Now this is root 3 by 2 greater than 2 by 3 mu L. Therefore refractive index of the liquid is, take this side, this one, mu liquid less than 3 root 3 by 4. So this is the value or limit of the refractive index of the liquid, which should be less than 3 root 3 by 4, under which the light will not enter into the liquid that undergoes TIR or grazing the surface separating two media. Means the boundary case where it starts grazing. Of course, less than this value, then it is undergo TIR. If it is equal to 3 root 3 by 4, that is grazing the surface separating two media. So this is the question. Next, let us go for next problem, 15th one. There is a isosceles prism. Of angle of prism is 45 degree. Its angle of prism is 45 degree, and its refractive index is not given. But the result is giving that a ray of light incidenting on this prism at angle of incidence which is equal to refracting angle. This is mentioned, and after refraction it grazing the second refracting surface, that is AC. Then question number 1, find the refractive index of material of the prism. Question number 2, for what angle of incidence the deviation suffered by the light will be minimum. There are two questions. Once again I repeat. So here there is an isosceles prism. Of angle of prism is 45 degree. When a ray of light incidenting on the surface AB at an angle of incidence I is equal to refracting angle, after refraction it grazing the second surface AC, then find number 1, refractive index of material of the prism. Number 2, for what angle of incidence the deviation suffered by the light will be minimum. So let us go for one by one. So first one, R2 is equal to here grazing. This is R2, and here it is R1. This is R2. This angle is R2, which is critical angle, right? So R2 is equal to C. I1 is equal to A, because it is mentioned clearly. Angle of incidence equal to refracting angle given this. This is mentioned in the problem. Now R1 plus R2 is equal to A. R1 plus R2 is, here it is grazing in the sense. On another side it is critical angle C. R1 is equal to 45 minus C. Okay. Now we obtained R1. Go for Snell's law. Using Snell's law, mu sin R1 is equal to 1 outside 1 into sin R2. Right? Here, this is mu sin, see here, mu sin R1 is equal to 1 into sin I1 45 degree. Therefore, mu, this is sin A minus B expanded, mu of sin 45 cos C minus cos 45, sin C is equal to sin 45. Now here, by simplifying, mu of here sin 45 1 by root 2, the cos C is equal to root over 1 minus sin square C minus, so cos 45 1 by root 2 again sin C is equal to here 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2 gets cancelled. Now remaining mu is common. So this is simplifying, this is equal to 1, and after simplifying this one, you will get mu square minus 1 under root equal to 2, mu square is equal to 5, mu is equal to root 5. So this is the answer for the first question. For the first question answer up to here, it is over. This is the solution up to here, and final answer is refractive index is root 5, for which it grazing the second refracting surface. Okay. Next question, what will be the angle of incidence for which the deviation suffered is minimum? For which, second question, for which at minimum deviation we know R1 is equal to R2. Therefore, R1 plus R2 is equal to A, to R equal to A, R equal to A by 2. A is, we know, 45 degree, 45 by 2. Now, mu is equal to sin I by sin R. Now, root 5 is equal to sin R is sin R equal to 45 by 2, taking this side is equal to sin A. Then simplifying this, I is equal to 58.8 degree. This is the angle of incidence for which definitely the deviation suffered by the light will be minimum.